Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And yesterday was my absolute favorite day of the year as far as lawn care goes. You know, you work hard on the yard in the fall, you're kind of prepping it for the following spring. You do all the right things as far as your nutrients and your inputs go to the yard. You're mowing it right, and you just want the best for your yard. Well, you know I'm a grass guy. I absolutely love my turf being thick and lush. But it's not just about the turf for me. I want my entire property to look good. That's why I work so hard on my annuals, and I like to put little splashes of color everywhere. That's why I work on keeping my plants pruned and keep everything shaped up and trimmed up nice. But there's one thing that really turns the property on, and that's when I do my pine needles. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole mulch versus pine needles versus mini nuggets thing. It's incredibly simple. Okay, don't get too wrapped up in that. It's personal preference. What do you like best? What fits your eye aesthetically the best and pleases you and makes you feel good, makes you feel happy looking at? For me, it's pine needles. For you, it might be double ground hardwood mulch. It might be dyed mulch. It might be pine bark mini nuggets. It might be pine bark nuggets. It might be rock. I don't know. There's so many different things you can actually put in your natural area. But what I don't want you to do is get wrapped up on there's a right way to do that and there's a wrong way to do that. Now, granted, there may be a few circumstances where, slopes or hillsides or something like that, where one material might wash from a heavy rain more so than another material. I'm not talking about that. I don't really have any washing issues out here. My property is relatively flat, so I could really do anything. I could do mulch, I could do mini nuggets, I could do whatever. I choose pine needles because that's my personal preference. It's just what I like. And if you like something different, it's completely okay for you to do that. My property takes about 250 bales because I have some pretty good sized natural areas, so it'd be really hard for me to do all this by myself. So I asked some of the guys from work, so hey, do you mind coming on out and helping me do my pine needles? Tim and Sam and Ricky came, and then Sam brought his son, and then I had my oldest son, Elijah, out here, and we all got with it. Then out of the blue, my father-in-law showed up, so we had a good little crew out here working. About a week prior to this day, I come out here with some Roundup and went through all my beds and got all the weeds and all the grasses and anything that wasn't a plant. I went on and got that sprayed and got it killed. Now, since day one, I've been doing pine needles here, so yes, they build up just a little bit, but a lot of them deteriorate. Now, that doesn't mean that they go away. They just kind of fade out and thin out. So when I apply fresh pine needles, I really don't put them super thick and heavy. I put down just enough so that I cover the old stuff up. As long as the weather stays typical, I'm going to get typically around 6 to 8 months of color out of them. Yes, sometimes I will do them in the fall of the year, but it's not normal. It all depends on my budget. If I got a little extra money and I want to do it, maybe I've got a big Christmas party or something coming up, that would really be the only time I'd do them in the off season. I'm kind of peculiar about them though. I like to really get them tucked up under all my trees. I like for them to go all the way to the base of the tree. That way when you're looking through the canopy of a tree, you can actually see the needles through the tree. And I'm a fan of tucking them. So we take a straight edge tool and I tuck them around all the edges. That's soft edges against the turf, and that's all my hard edges. And of course I do the exact same thing along my driveway and my sidewalk. This provides a super tight, clean edge, and you know how anal I am about my edges. So after the needles are applied, yeah, they're kind of nice and fluffy and puffy, but generally speaking, it takes 1 to 2 good rainfalls, and what'll happen is the needles will settle down and lay down a little bit flatter, and that's really the end result I'm looking for. So I know different folks in different parts of the country have access to different things, meaning some of you may not even be able to get pine needles. But in our area, I live in North Carolina, it's pretty abundant. And what makes it abundant is all these companies from down in South Carolina and Georgia come up here on a daily basis. You see the pine needle trailers running up and down the neighborhoods. And of course, I found a company years ago, and I've been dealing with them for a while. And so we schedule them to bring us pine needles. And of course, we put them in a lot of our accounts. And then, yeah, we do have accounts that like mulch, and we do mulch jobs as well. But my preference is pine needles. Again, it's just a personal preference thing. It's not that I don't like mulch or I don't like mini nuggets. I just prefer the look of pine needles. So hey, make sure you get out there, get that mulch done. I'm telling you, it really does make your grass pop, especially when you're taking care of the turf the correct way and you already have this nice, lush, thick stand of green turf. And then you add all this fresh color around it, whether it be with needles or mulch or nuggets, it really makes the whole yard pop. So there you go. That is my absolute one favorite day of the entire year in the yard, is the day we get to put the pine needles down, because I just think it's nothing like it. It makes the whole property shine like a new penny. So hey, as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.